Hello and welcome to the York Creators podcast. My name is Ben Porter, and each week you can join me as I chat to someone from York's creative community. This week's guest is Tom Straszewski, known to most as Strasz. Strasz is a theatre director and writer and is the pageant master for the York Mystery Plays this year. We discuss what that role involves, covering the broadness of the stories that are involved in the mystery plays, as well as the importance of guilds in our city and the community benefits they bring. We also talk about his theatre company, Bronzehead Theatre, how they explore science-sensitive pieces, and the vast range of tasks that artistic directors have to take on to bring their projects to life. So Strasz, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
So you're the artistic director of Bronzehead Theatre, which does site-sensitive performances. Can you tell me what excites you about that kind of theatre?
It's partly it's a product of working in York. I mean, as you know, trying to find a space in York to do anything is a bit of a struggle at times. And so finding a space that isn't the York Theatre Royal or the Grand Opera House or Monkgate is one of those things where I'm thinking, well, if we're going to do a show, and we don't want to work in one of those, and we can't work in one of those because they're all book solid for the next year, then let's find somewhere that will work. Our first show was a set of medieval ghost stories. So we went to Holy Trinity on Goodrham Gate, and they actually say they have a few ghosts lurking around there. We thought, okay, let's do some ghost stories here. And the best thing about it, of doing site-sensitive theatre, is you don't have to do the set. Mm-hmm. The set's all there already. If you're doing a haunted house and you find an old spooky looking house, that's it. You don't have to go around putting cobwebs up. It's already there. Yeah. If you want to do something set in a garden, you just go to a garden and the flowers are out and the set's all there. The sounds are all there. You've got the sounds of the birds in the background. Mm-hmm. So you don't really need you don't need sound. You don't usually need much lighting. Everything is there, and so the focus is more on the actors and on the story that's being told. So there's a very sort of stripped down approach to it, which I quite enjoy.
So what's the process? Do you usually find the location first, or do you have the story and then you find the location that way? Or?
It's sometimes it's a mix of both. When we were doing Henry IV last year, I knew I wanted to do it as a wake in a pub, sort of thinking, okay, well, it'll be a wake, let's do it in a pub because that's where most wakes end up being. And then it was a case of finding the right pubs. And some of the pubs we found were in the Eagle and Child in York. Oh, yeah. That was fantastic to have. It had just the right sort of feel for it. With just enough noise, possibly a little bit too much noise leaking in from downstairs. But again, it felt like we were in a pub because we were. Yeah. Whereas when we did Dracula last year in around Halloween, that was very much, we want to do Dracula. Okay, let's find somewhere that we can use that way.
So tell me about your role as an artistic director. What does that involve?
It depends on the project. Sometimes it involves absolutely everything. We did what was called the Lazy Tour last year, which was based on a set of books about, it's basically Charles Dickens, Wilkie Collins, going off on a tour of Britain, finding the best place to be completely lazy. Which is a wonderful narrative, wonderful story, lots of little funny excerpts about sort of people they encounter on the way. And that one I wrote, adapted. The only thing I don't do is act.
Okay. Why is that? Have you tried it and it's not for you? Or?
My memory's not good enough.
Okay. So you need the script in your hand?
Yes, I need a script in my hand. I need something to where the lines just don't sink in as well as they could do. And I've always enjoyed being in control. Mm-hmm. I've been told not to describe myself as a control freak. But I'm going to anyway. So it's kind of being, in the early days, it was a case of, okay, well, somebody's got to do the marketing. I'll do the marketing. Somebody's got to do, find the script. Somebody's got to direct it. Somebody's got to get in touch with the venues. Now I have Sandrine Carlson, who is an absolutely fantastic project manager and a friend of mine who works as a stage manager mostly, but she is also the one sort of keeping everything organised, which I was having to clear out my computer a few days ago to free up some space, and came across the most appalling plans from sort of 4 or 5 years ago, thinking, wow, I would never get away with that little organisation at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, artistic directing is it's pretty much putting a stamp on the project as a whole. But what is nice is then when the actors come in, and sometimes they're people I've worked with for years now. Sometimes they're people who have come up from London and they want to act up here, or there's not much work for them down in London for some reason. And they come up here almost as not really a holiday because they work hard, but as a breakaway from...
change of scenery.
Yes, change of scenery. And what's wonderful is then whatever sort of plans I have change. The moment you put an actor in a room, you go, what about this? Yeah. What about that? Okay, that no longer works. Let's come up with something new.
Yeah, it's the same when you're filming. Like, stuff always goes wrong, stuff always changes.
Yes. It's when things go wrong that the most interesting things happen, I think. Yeah, you can plan and it can be whatever you think is in your head when you first put it down. It shouldn't be the end product. If that was the case, I just write it down and put it on the internet for people to see. But it's getting an audience in front of it. Yeah, that's the fun thing. It's always this collaboration between the audience and between the actors and between the sort of the backstage people, all making it happen.
So one of your shows, Dracula, has been really successful. Been selling out. Why do you think that one has been so successful?
It was quite a blatantly commercial endeavour, to be honest. We thought, okay, we've got Henry IV on in May as part of the International Shakespeare Festival in York, and then we're going to do the Lazy Tour just to kind of messing around in the summer outside. That'll be quite good fun. And then looking at it and thinking, okay, we need something that will actually then pay the bills after not the most successful tour of Henry IV. We thought, okay, Dracula at Halloween in a haunted house. That's the most commercial endeavour we could possibly imagine at that point.
Where did you do that one?
Sorry,
where was that?
That was actually at Monkgate, 41 Monkgate, and it is a working theatre in that it's got a studio space, and we're going to revive it again this year, but we're going to look for a more sort of site-sensitive place. There's a few sort of city centre places that will work as a sort of Dracula's home, or home away from home, of Carfax House. But yeah, no, we're looking forward to finding a new space to resurrect Dracula in.
So as well as your work with Bronzehead, you're also a pageant master for this year's Mystery Plays. Can you tell me what that means and what that involves?
A pageant master is it's a bit of a weird position because it's almost like being a curator of a museum.
Okay, cool.
In that, so the York Mystery Plays are a cycle of 48 or at least 48 have managed to reach it for the present day, medieval plays based on episodes from the Bible or from Christian life, going from all the way from the creation of everything and the fall of the angels all the way up to the Last Judgment. Some of them are absolutely heartwarming, some of them are quite horrific, some of them are very funny. There's sort of moments of Noah's Ark that are absolutely hilarious. They've got the sort of broad Yorkshire pantomime humour.
Cool.
And they take place traditionally on the streets of York. And so for the 2018 ones, which are run by York Festival Trust and the Guilds of York, they take a selection of usually between sort of 8 up to sort of 12 or 13 episodes, plays from the cycle. And individual groups then perform these. So my role isn't kind of go, okay, sit in a rehearsal room, cast sort of 100 actors for however many plays, direct them all the way through. It's a lot more interesting than that, because what I've been doing is, some of the groups have been doing these for 20 years now. The Builders Guild, they've been doing it for 20 years, every 4 years, and they have the set, they have the wagon that's performed on, they have often the same costumes, the same people doing it year in, year out. Others are completely new to the Mysteries this year. They're groups that have never worked on it before. And there are some who have produced plays before but have not done a wagon play before. That's what I've been doing is sort of curating the groups. Okay. Sort of selecting which group, and in some cases which director, sometimes they appoint their own director, who go away and then they put on their own play. And it's making sure that the event as a whole coheres together, that feels like a united enterprise, despite the fact that there are 11 very different groups. We've got school groups, we've got church groups, we've got amateur drama groups, we've got groups from universities, we've got trade guilds, which are basically the sort of equivalent of, a medieval guild would have been it would have been a union, it would have been a sort of an apprenticeship scheme, it would have been an educational scheme, it would have been a charity, all rolled together in one. If you said, I'm a butcher or I'm a builder, it meant you had that sense of community amongst every single builder or every single butcher in the York area. Yeah. And some of those guilds still survive today. In fact, the Butchers Guild has, it went down to one member in the 1940s, and a group of people came to him and said, "You are the last butcher. You are the last official sort of guild endorsed butcher. Can we join you?" Well, and since then it just built on and built up and built up, and they've really taken on the plays as their heritage. So it's a real honour to be able to say, okay, let's help the guilds, let's help everybody who feels that the play is a part of their heritage to put on this massive pageant through the streets of York.
Sure. So when is it for people who want to come along?
It is on the Sundays, the 9th and 16th of September this year. We've also got a bit of an exciting thing, which is, for the first time, is performances in the Shambles Marketplace. And that's going to be taking place on the Wednesday, the 12th of September in the evening. Okay. And the idea is that we're going to fill the space with the naughtier side, the darker side of the plays. We've got the sort of the plays that deal with murder and betrayal and sacrifice all taking place in this marketplace. So I'm looking forward to that. It's sort of a case of turn up, have dinner at the Shambles Market, and then be harassed by demons for the rest of the night.
Sign me up.
Yes.
So what do you think are some misconceptions about theatre?
I think the biggest misconception is that it's not for everyone. There is such a wide range, even in a city the size of York. There is such a huge range of what's on. You've got the pantomime, you've got musicals, you've got Shakespeare, you've got modern drama, you've got plays where everybody's up on the stage and you sit down in your comfy seat in the dark, they can't see you. You've got plays where you are meant to become part of the action. So there's the Flanagan Collective, these do superb immersive pieces where you become a reveller at the Great Gatsby's party. I think anybody who goes along, if you say, I'm off to see a play, it could mean anything. It could be absolutely anything. I think it's a case of finding out what you like, and there will be a play for you.
What was the last production you went to that wasn't your own?
Last production I went to, oh, blimey, I've been, but I didn't direct, is a good question. Because I've been really busy with Two Noble Kinsmen for the York Shakespeare project, and so that's been sort of taking up most of my time every evenings. Before that, was actually over at West Yorkshire Playhouse seeing The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe.
Oh, cool.
And it was absolutely fantastic. It was all sort of broad Yorkshire accents. They didn't sort of make it of a kind of 1940s sort of public school boys kind of sort of posh voices and everything. You could really see, okay, they've been plucked out of the middle of Leeds and sent off into the countryside where they don't know anything, but they're going to have some fun doing so. They had acrobatics, they had people coming down on ropes from the ceiling, they had a really weird sort of fantasy about Turkish delight.
Okay, cool.
It was fantastic. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was this huge spectacle. I think that's kind of what I'm hoping that we're going to bring to the streets of York with the mysteries. It is again that sense of spectacle and pageantry. And I've heard that the Last Judgment, there is going to be an absolutely massive puppet dragon.
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that.
So what else has 2018 got in store for you?
Actually, it's really just the mysteries and Dracula at that point. I have my wife and I are expecting a child in June, so that's so I sort of thought with some prompting that I perhaps shouldn't do too much this year. So that's kind of the other big production in my life at the moment. But then after that, 2019 is the International Shakespeare Festival again. We're hoping the Bronzehead will be a part of that. And then sort of seeing what else is on the cards.
So if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Best way to do that is for the York Mysteries is director at yorkmysteryplays.co.uk, or just searching for York Mystery Plays on Google or Bing or whatever, DuckDuckGo or whichever sort of search engine you prefer. For Bronzehead is bronzeheadtheatre.co.uk. We're also on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter. So searching for Bronzehead will find us.
Great. Cool. Well, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you.